Welcome everybody. I wanted to do a video on how to do a valuation of your Lord of the Rings TCG set, since I see this all the time and people come out and say, what do I got? I found my collection. What's the valuable stuff? I thought I'd just make a video and tell you exactly how to do the valuation there. So if you're going through your old stuff, the first thing you want to look out for are foils. So this is from Fellowship of the Ring. So this is a foil set of Fellowship of the Ring, which is probably the I don't know, maybe one of the more valuable ones. So you're going to be looking for foil cards from this set. And there's going to be three variations. There's going to be rares, there's going to be uncommons, and there's going to be commons. So in particular, the rare indicator is down here. You're going to be looking for rare foils. So rings, main characters, useful cards for playing are all going to be valued higher because there's people that want to build complete foil decks. So if you have this in foil, not in Tangwar, which I don't think I actually did a Tangwar foil, but this is an extremely valuable card. So that's the first thing you kind of want to pull out are foils. There are nearly 1,600 of them. This is a complete foil set that took me years to complete, but these are the real money cards. Within this, there's a few like Legolas Greenleaf that's particularly valuable. He's maybe a couple $100. What else is there? There's, sorry, my cat is lurking. She's also interested in Lord of the Rings, Servant of the Secret Fire, and Aragorn down here. So these are all rare. There are a couple uncommon and common. I encourage you to look on eBay or Category 1 Games to figure out some pricing, but sort of if you're going through and you're like, what should I pull out? I have 3,000 cards. The first thing you should do, if it is shiny, pull it out and set it aside, because that is probably where most of your value is for the average player or collector. It's within the foils. So there's foils for sets 1 through 10. Set number 9 is called Reflections. So this was the first set. Set number 9 is Reflections, and it looks exactly like this. So this is just a miscut card I have here, but it's the same thing, except it's confusing because all the foils say they're, R plus or R plus. You are looking for, in particular, the R pluses. It's kind of confusing, but basically the R foils are not worth, a quarter even. So this foil from 9 is just not really worth anything, to be completely frank. A full set of Reflections sells for, about $300. So it's not insanely valuable, but this is probably a lot of people pull out foils like I have 27 rare foils. Well, if they're just an R from set 9 and an R plus, then unfortunately you don't have a lot of value there. But this is what Reflections look like. Just to kind of give you an idea, this is my weird stuff binder. Moving along, because there's also, after set 10, which was Mount Doom, they did RFs for Shadows, which had the same rarity as the others. These are not very hard to find. So the RFs from 11 are unfortunately maybe a couple bucks a piece. They did the same thing for set 12, RFs, but they added a fun wrinkle, which was the Masterworks. So the Masterworks are denoted by a little circle down there, and these were approximately 1 per booster box. And this is where things get very valuable as far as foils. So a Black Rider set 12 Masterworks set is valued at maybe $300 to $400. So, not too bad. So first thing, look for foils. Next thing, look for cards from sets 13 and beyond. This is when the game started to hit sort of a smaller print run because it was losing popularity. So there just wasn't a lot of this stuff printed. And you can always tell the set number by the bottom right. So this is an Arwen that was from set 13, who's a S, which means she was a fixed card. So that's sort of your next metric is you've picked out all the foils. Now pick out all of the cards, including commons and uncommons, from sets 13 through 18. These are generally going to be, quite hard to find. Most people stop playing after set 10 because they reset the game with set 11. So this is why there's, sort of less of this out there, and it's a little more rare. So this is the next thing you want to pull aside is kind of all of your stuff from set 13, 15, 17, and 18. That's your next valuable pile. You're thinking about like, how do I sell this? Like take a picture of that stuff. Those are gonna be the money cards, particularly the rares. I'm gonna jump ahead to set 15. You know, like this card is from set 15, the Ring of Doom. These are the Masterworks from set 13. So this is also, you know, these are quite valuable. Maybe the whole set's like $700, $800. So things just get exponentially more expensive. So just like set, you know, 12, set 13 also had the RFs. So this is an 18 RFs in sets 11, 12, 13, 15, 17, 18, and then there were 9 Masterworks in sets 9 through 18. And you notice I missed a couple numbers because there's a couple sets that were like fixed. We don't really need to get into those, but this is what the Masterworks look like. Super cool page. This is set 13 Masterworks. And then this is set 15. This is the set 15 Masterwork page. So foils, cards from 13 and beyond. And then you want to start thinking about rares, but it's really select rares. So the rarity indicators, once again, the bottom right. So pull out cards that you think are going to be useful in decks. I would go to a site like Category 1 Games and just sort by price, just to point out a few in Fellowship of the Ring. You know, maybe you want to pull out cards like Double Shot here is maybe a $10 card, or Serve of the Secret Fire up here is a $10 card. This is the non-foil version. So that's going to be your third pile, or all the rares. And unfortunately, most rares, you know, there's literally thousands of them, are not very valuable. Lurtz is maybe, you know, $4 or $5 or something. So there's value in the rares, but another one here, the Goblin Armory right here. This is another probably $20 rare. This might be arguably the most valuable rare non-foil in the game that's not from the later sets. So you should have 3 piles: foils, cards from 13 and beyond, and then rares. And from there, I would just use Category 1 Games, or you can use eBay Sold, but if you have a lot of cards in your collection, it's gonna be kind of tedious to find, you know, all the pricing on this stuff. So use that as starting points, and all the commons and uncommons, except from the later sets, that being like kind of even 15 on, they're just not worth much, to be totally frank with you guys. Like, you can have 3,000 cards, but you might only get like a couple $100 for your collection unless you have really good foils in there. And pricing is all over the place for this stuff, but if you think it's sort of an interesting character like Frodo here, there's a good chance that there's also a collector or a player who wants it for a binder or for a deck. There's a lot of cards, there's a lot to collect, and there's not really a ton of collectors, so there's not always a huge amount of demand for a large number of cards. But this is just hopefully a helpful tool for people who found their collection, are like, oh, how much is this stuff worth? You know, this can serve as a bit of a guide. Just think foils, in particular, the, you know, sets 1 through 8, and then set 10, set 9 had everything was a foil, so a little less interesting. And then sets, later sets and rares, those are going to be your bread and butter. And as always, guys, I encourage you to not sell your cards, but to this is a set 16. This is about $200 here. They're foils, all fixed foils. There's so many goofy things in this game. I'm not getting into promos. There's some really valuable promos, but chances are if you're just dusting off your collection, you don't have the promos that are very valuable. Like, for example, this Aragorn, the Decipher agent exclusive. You know, most people don't have this sitting around. Maybe you do, but promos is another bucket that I don't actually know a lot about myself, but there's some really valuable ones out there. So I encourage you not to sell your stuff. I encourage you to get back into it and collect. That's what I do. But because I see this question posted all the time, I thought I'd just do a brief video on how to value your collection, and hope you all enjoyed, and happy to answer questions. Thanks.